Hello everyone and welcome to another Karate Does Jiu-Jitsu video. I'm Patrick and today we're going to take a look at my most recent tournament, which was the Jiu-Jitsu World League Worlds Tournament. It was on July 4th weekend, so 2 weeks ago at time of recording, and it took place in the Poly Pavilion at UCLA. And as you can see on the video, it's quite a big venue, and it had something close to 5,000 registered competitors. We're going to jump right into my first match here. I had a little bit of the nervous jitters, but as you'll see, it went well for me. So first thing as we jump in here is I'm looking for inside position and the inside trip. He manages to avoid the sweep, and we end up out of bounds, so the referee resets us. But right away, I'm going to look for that inside position with my grips again. You'll take a look at my left hand here. I'm looking for that high grip. But in a second here, I noticed that he's bringing that leg forward, so I'm going to fake the guard pull for the single leg. He ends up pummeling under, and I re-pummel, get my head through, and get grips on his back. Immediately, I take him down to the ground, which awards me 2 points. I was worried that they were going to reset us, but then when the referee didn't, I throw my left hand over and get that collar grip to go for my favorite submission, which is the bow and arrow choke. I get a grip on the collar and a grip on the pants so he can't roll out, and after a couple seconds here, he taps, which awards me my first submission of the night, and was a big relief. I was nervous going in, but right away, getting that submission quickly kind of set me in the right mindset for my next couple matches. Now, for better or for worse, when you're sitting here with a big bracket, and I had a bracket of 8, is you get to watch other opponents' matches. So going into this next match here, I knew that my opponent likes to jump guard, meaning he wants to get his grips on my collars and jump closing his legs around my body, which if you're not ready for it can actually be pretty dangerous and is not legal in all tournaments at all belt levels, but I knew this going in, so I was ready. Now with that in mind, I faked the guard pull again for that single leg takedown. This was working really well for me and something I drilled for honestly months going into this tournament, so I felt confident doing this. I switched my grip to the side, which felt like I could establish a little more pressure. And from here, I'm just trying to cook him, like my coaches say, which is to just keep that pressure on top of him, making it really uncomfortable for him until he moves his own legs out of the way. I didn't end up having enough control, and I think I spun through the wrong direction, so we end up back on our feet. Now, for the next while here, once again, I knew he was going to look for that guard jump, so he's constantly looking for that grips, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm not getting too close because I know he's going to launch right into it. And he's a really strong guy, so he was doing a great job of controlling my hands here. I tried to break grips a couple times, but he's grabbing on to either my sleeve or my hands themselves, and that makes it difficult for me to then break free and get grips of my own. So it's definitely him playing a little bit defensively, looking for the right opportunity to grab onto my collars and jump that guard. And he does manage to do this coming up shortly. In fact, just as he jumps guard, my coach is remarking, and you can hear it, that he wants to jump guard. So the timing was impeccable. He manages to close the guard. So first thing I want to do is get control of my hands either in his armpits or on his collars, and I'm looking to stand up. I didn't manage to get a knee in the center line, which would have been ideal, but by standing up, it starts to put some pressure on his ankles. And now he's trying to isolate an arm for an arm bar, but I'm well aware of that, so I managed to protect it pretty well. From here, my coaches are telling me to shake, and once again, he's a strong guy, so I'm trying to keep my balance, hold his weight, and shake. Almost losing my balance there, but managed to keep holding on here for a bit, and I can feel him slowly start to lose control. So as I'm posting my arm in his neck, he's going to open up his feet looking for maybe a body lock takedown, but I get that underhook, and I'm feeling confident here. I miss a quick trip there and take a moment, honestly, to get my bearings. But my coaches are telling me to go up and back as I manage to throw him and get 2 points. So I'm up 4-0 here, and I know that I've got the 2 takedowns, so I'm up 4-0. So from here, we start to slow things down a little bit. In a previous tournament, I got stuck in this position for essentially the entire round. So I had been working on how to get out of this position, and I felt confident that I would. But once again, my opponent, everyone at purple belt level is skilled, so he has some answers for my answers, and that's what makes it a chess game. As I look to extract my leg here, he tries to spin under, And through the scramble, I managed to stay on top and actually get a look here at his back. So I'm getting my grips on his collars, and I'm looking to climb up and extract my leg, flatten him out, and I want him over to the other side of my body because of the grips I have. And as I sneak my leg through here, I flip him over to the other side and throw my other hook in. Now, because my ankles are crossed, I do not have 4 points awarded yet until I uncross those feet. And as my coaches are yelling at me to uncross them, I do and get the 4 points. Once again, I have my grips for my bow and arrow choke and managed to finish with the same submission I did in round number 1. And that was super exciting for me. In previous tournaments, I'd really played to not lose. And my number one goal in this tournament beyond winning was to just do my jiu-jitsu, to come out aggressively, to look for the win. And if I lost, at least I lost knowing that I was trying to win, as opposed to trying not to lose, which there is a big difference in both the mindset and game plan and approach, and also, I believe, the outcome. So this brings us to the finals match. I had just won the semifinals by bow and arrow choke. And next up, I face a really strong opponent. And I ended up losing this match, but there's some interesting things that happen, and it's worth it to go through it. So the first thing to note is all my opponents have been watching me, and they've seen me now submit 2 people where there had been no other submissions in the entire bracket so far. They had also seen me do the fake guard pull into single leg multiple times now. So you can tell by my opponent's low stance that him and his coach had looked at this, and he sits to guard, but I managed to actually time it and pass his guard. You can see the ref here, he's given 3 points. So I was off to a good start right away. This is kind of the ideal start to a match, and I was feeling good. But right here, you see that I have this grip for a guillotine choke. Now, what's interesting is I never drill or practice dropping into a guillotine choke ever. So I ended up going far away from something that I drill and I'm used to, and that puts me now on the back foot. But these things happen in tournaments and you have to adjust. I feel real confident wrestling up, so I'm looking for the underhook here with my left arm, and I'm looking to just stand up and reset. He's got a strong grip on my pants here, but I managed to get up, and through here I look for another inside trip. This unfortunately was a big mistake for me, as now he almost has my back. And because my positioning was off and I went for that sloppy inside trip, I'm once again on the back foot. He's looking for my arm here. He has a Kimura grip, and this is going to be the story of the rest of the match. I'm trying to defend as he has this pretty dominant Kimura grip. I'm trying to make sure he cannot get that left leg over. Otherwise, I know he'll be awarded 4 points. But by being defensive here, you're going to end up losing. Now, somehow I managed to get my fingers trapped in his sleeve. And you'll see this in a moment here as we roll over. This made it even more difficult to fight this position. And I must have grabbed his sleeve at some point, but I actually almost tapped from a wrist lock here because my fingers were trapped and at a weird angle. But as I'm trying to scramble and roll, he manages to get this arm behind me, and he's a really nice opponent. He knew I was dead to rights there, and I was verbally tapping for probably 2 or 3 seconds before the ref stopped it, and he just held position instead of cranking on my arm. So amazing work to him. Well-deserved win. I know he had gotten silver medals in many previous Jiu-Jitsu World League tournaments, and this was his day at a giant tournament, the World. So congratulations to my opponent there. And what an amazing experience. I'm super happy that I participated, and I'm really happy with my results. Getting second place at a tournament at this level is something that I'm pleased with. You know, I'm proud but not satisfied. I definitely think that I had gold within reach. I think that if a couple things happened differently in that finals match, that I might have been victorious, and I'm definitely going to make some changes moving forward in my training. And that's exactly why we do these tournaments, right? To grow and to learn. Another cool thing to note here is one of my main training partners, Danny, and the other competitor from the school that I own, the Edge Martial Arts in Santa Clarita, he managed to take home gold. So between the two of us, we got 5 wins and 3 submissions and managed to place, I think, 80th out of 500 schools with just 2 competitors. So that was really cool to see. But of course, that's not the end of the story. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I have two amazing coaches that have invested so much time and energy into me. And I have my Edge patch and also my Team 3 patch. So I want to thank both my coaches, Professor James in this photo and Professor Sergio in the next one, who both are responsible for my success and my growth in jiu-jitsu, and my training partners as well. I thank all of you very much, especially Ashley Sage and Mark Cox, who coached me the day of and gave me some excellent advice that helped me get through those first two wins. And Michael Cox, in particular, who did a lot of drilling with me in the days before the tournament. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you want to see anything different in the future, let me know. Or if you have any feedback, I'd love to hear from you guys and hear about your own journey in jiu-jitsu and in martial arts. Take care.